auctions application. My name is Dawson Smetana.
I'm Andrew Garland.
I'm Jacob Peterson.
And I'm John Benedickson.
The first entity in our model is the user. The user is comprised of 7 attributes. The first attribute is the password, the email, the given name, the family name, the role, the creation date, and the user ID. Finally, the user is in a relationship N-to-1 with account entity. The account entity is comprised of 3 attributes. The first attribute is the account name, the address, and the owner ID. Finally, the account is in a disjoint relationship, classifying each account as a seller or a buyer.
Our application follows a reverse auction model. In this model, buyers and sellers are flipped. This model works better, especially in our scenario, when it allows sellers to set prices they're comfortable with while simultaneously giving buyers an opportunity to save money. The final 2 entities in our model are the bid and auctions. The bid is comprised of a time placed, a bid value, a bid ID, and a user ID, and is in a relationship with the account that placed the bid and in a relationship with the auction the bid is placed on. The auction is comprised of an item, a quantity, a time placed, a time closed, a user ID, and an auction ID. The auction is in a relationship with the bids that are placed on it, as well as the account that placed the auction. An additional functionality of our auctions page is you can search by item. This makes it easier for either bidders or auctioneers to find specific bids that they're looking for to either place a bid or update the value. Seller accounts are able to use an aggregation method that counts the number of bids users have placed. They can access the data from this method on their account page in the user section. As an auctioneer, you can update the values to either, correct a spelling error or change the quantity of an auction you have posted. And these values will be updated both on your screen and in the database immediately. Additionally, as an auctioneer, you have access to the create auction function, which allows you to make a new auction in the auction table, and it will automatically associate with your account and be uploaded into the database as well, which we can see when we refresh it. Next, we're going to register a user. So to register a user, you just enter the username, which is an email, a given name, and a family name, and then 2 matching passwords. After clicking register, we can go into our database manager and we can see that if we refresh, the user was in fact added to the database. We built our app using the Spring application framework. Spring is open source and has many freely available open source libraries, which makes it have a lot of customizability. But on top of that, even though all these options make it a lot easier to develop apps, it also can lead to some confusion, especially with version mismatching and maintaining a consistent theme throughout all of our code and views. So our web app consists of several views, and the view pages are written almost exclusively in Java code using the Vaadin libraries, which allowed us to write Java code, and it would turn that code into the Vaadin classes that are built in and sort of replicate HTML code on the front end. These features made it a lot easier for us to produce a functional website because we only had to worry about writing Java code. So one of our most successful views was the auction view. This used some of the more advanced Vaadin libraries and objects like the grid object and the binder object. This view utilized these two objects to connect our backend auctions, which is the main component of our project, with the front end view, so users can interact directly with these objects, which was in the example, the demo example. So the data binding is really neat because you just build a Java class and it automatically can bind with a database and a front end object, and it allows you to execute SQL code with interaction using JavaScript. Our SQL configuration on the back end was in the form of our custom SQL handler, which has SQL queries built into it as queries. And we were able to pass in values into these methods. The values could come directly from what the users entered on the front end, and we used the Vaadin classes to hold these values and pass them while they were listening using JavaScript listeners. And our backend, we just used the Oracle SQL developer because it was already set up, and after we had done all of the key management and foreign key management, we decided it made more sense to continue to use the Oracle SQL developer. Our most successful component in our project was the views and the ability for the views to couple with data successfully, especially accounts and auctions where things were bound well enough where we just had to worry about making sure the SQL executed by the time the Java code was done. And the least successful component was our security service because we struggled a lot with ensuring the people were seeing the right things and had access to the right pages. And we were never able to make it so users' menus and navigation menus changed based on what type of user they were. Thanks for watching, everybody. We hope you enjoyed our demonstration. Thank you.